Probably going to be a few seconds before the live broadcasting kicks in. So I'm just talking to you guys who are watching this on the archive. Hello, it's me, International Master John Bartholomew, aka Finns. And once the live stream kicks in, please give me a shout out and we'll get going. It's Saturday, as you can see in the title, and I'm playing some Blitz chess on ICC. This should be a pretty relaxed stream. I'll probably go for maybe 45 minutes, an hour. Although I said that last time, and it actually ended up being something like over 2 hours. So I sometimes overstep my stated mark when it comes to recording time. But more viewing for you guys, right? All right. Yep, looks like people can see and hear me. How's it going, everyone? I got to give you the customary wave. How's it going, Mahala Walla? Anton, Baggy Pants Man, Gwen, Fred, Charles, Scott, good to see all of you. All right, glad to hear it, Toby. He says loud and clear. We've got 44 watching, and if you missed what I just said, I'm probably going to be streaming for about 45 minutes to an hour. I don't want to take up your evening plans if you're in the U.S. and you're going out tonight or you got something to do. Or if you have nothing to do, I don't know, I guess I'm not interrupting any of your plans. How's it going? Connor, Emil, Sven? Thank you to those who are in Europe and staying up or in other parts of the world and accommodating your schedule for me. Much appreciated. So the plan is to play on ICC, and I'm probably going to stick to 3 minute. I don't think I'll dabble in 5 minute, just because 3 minutes seems to be a good pace for these streams. We get in a bunch of games, even though 5 minutes not that much longer. The one advantage of 5 minute is that I can actually check the chat while I'm playing, but I'm not so sure that's such a good thing for the results of my game. Sorry, graphics. I didn't mean to ignore you. I promise. All right. So I'm going to play a game here right off the bat as people start trickling into the stream. And I get a game right away. Sobre Viviente. I think I played this guy on the previous stream, and I think I was black as well, and he went knight f3, g3. So we've got a rematch on our hands, folks. Let's do this. I'm going to play this setup with e6, knight f6. I think I took this pawn last time, so I'm going to try to do that once again. I mean, here he could play an early knight a3 and try to hang on to it, but looks like he's going to delay that. So I'm going to do exactly what I did in our previous encounter, which is play knight b6 and try to make this tough for him. If knight e5, the idea is queen d4. This is total deja vu. Aha, so you're going to do that, are you? All right, well, let's take. And I guess I'll play knight here. This is covered. White's going to have some compensation, no doubt. He's got open lines on the queen side. I'm curious what he's going to throw at me. I think he wants to play rook b1, but note that my bishop controls that square, so that's impossible. I'm thinking about e6 now. He might play knight d4, although I don't think I was scared of that move last time, so I shouldn't be scared this time, should I? He could take on f6, but I would just take with my pawn. All right. Yeah, I think he wants knight d4. I think that's the plan. So how do we cross him? Well, I'm just going to do this. If knight d4, I might just castle and let him take f5 and be content with that position. Knight to c2. I see you. Okay, let's go here. If bishop d4, maybe c5. Let's keep the tempo up right from the start, right? No rook h1 checkmates today. Let's try to avoid it. So you're really going to sack on c6. You might, but... You actually might. Now I'm going to castle. He could take with the bishop. That's possible. That would plunge the game into complications, but he opts not to. So I've got these doubled f-pawns, but I am still up a pawn. We can take some solace in that. Okay, knight d5 perhaps. Looking to go knight b4. He can take on d5 with his bishop. I can't play rook b8. Rook a7, playable but ugly. I'm going to do it. You can just take f6. Terrible. Terrible start, as Ben Feingold would say. All right, I have to struggle on down a piece. We'll try to make the best of this. Yeah, I was looking at bishop d4, but not bishop takes f6. Okay, so this is not looking good to start the session. I guess we'll go here. Try to play bishop d8. Nice pieces being boxed in on the queen side as well. Kick the queen back. Maybe rook b6 is an idea. I can try to wiggle in on the queen side. Let's go rook b4 and hope that that does something. More than likely, it's nothing whatsoever. You guys like that blunder? Thank you, Braffin. Thank you for the good luck. Someone asked, how do you handle chess when you go on tilt? Well, this could be a good example of that. Now, you have to keep it in perspective, right? This is just a game. I know that's maybe not the answer you want to hear, but there are much bigger things in life, bigger problems than losing a chess game. So if the worst thing that happens in your day is you lose a game of online chess, that's not so bad in my opinion. We can handle that. Yeah, this position is absolutely ugly, but maybe I can stir up some trouble like so. Knight d7, rook d8, knight c5 perhaps. He was trying to play a6 so that if I took, he was going to take on c6. That was his plan. All right, if I can get it down to a 1 minute sort of game, then I have something. I have a chance. Yeah, that's a good reply, though. That might end my resistance. Queen f7. Time to resign. No, he didn't play it. Okay. I guess we'll continue on. Knight takes c6 is looking pretty good now. If he plays that, I will resign. Okay. Yeah, we just gave a piece right here, although I think he has good compensation. I don't know about my position after rook b1. That's a good move. Suddenly my knight on b6 is feeling the heat. I probably have to play knight fd7 now that I look at it and try to reinforce and not allow bishop takes f6. But still, white's got some play. All right, so we get down in flames in the first one. Thank you for the fire emoji, Gwen. That's needed. So we lose the first game, but there will be more. Yeah, about tilt in chess, I think the biggest thing you can do is limit the number of games. There was a thread on Reddit recently about specifically how to handle losses in chess and how not to go on tilt. And I wrote in there that I thought the best way to handle it is to strictly limit your games. And for my students with like their standard games, I recommend they limit it to 3 or 4 games per day. And you just don't exceed that under any circumstances. Because more than 4 standard games in a day is a lot anyways. And it's hard to maintain your level. Even if you're doing well, it's hard to maintain the standard of form that you had in that first game on like game 5 or beyond. So limit your games. Just tell yourself you're going to invest the maximum amount of mental energy in those games. And see what happens. I mean, there will always be 4 more games tomorrow. Or however many you designate. Hey, Joe. How's it going? Joe's been asking me to play the Blackmar-Daymar Gambit for quite a while. I will try to do that this stream, Joe. I'll do that. Pure Cheese, I probably will not be covering the candidates unless there's some really interesting games. You never know, though. If there's like some game that really blows everyone away, I might do it. Sarbona is the next opponent. Let's mix it up. Let's play c5. We're going to play a little Sicilian. I like a6 on move 2 against knight c3. It's a flexible move. It prepares b5. Let's go e6. So if he goes d4, we can take this into a con. Queen c7 next. Okay, let's play bishop here, attack this knight. Usually they retreat to e2 or bishop d2. Bishop d2 also is playable. Let's go knight c6. So the queen is no longer defending the knight, so I kind of like that move now. Let's bring this back. There might be some issues with like knight b5 or knight d5. Previously, I could have played bishop takes d2 check, but now that that's not available, I think it makes sense to retreat. Let's go e5. He's probably going to try to zero in on this square. And he wants something with c5, knight b6 now. All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to let him play c5 if he wants. Maybe we'll even take it, although taking probably isn't so good. If I play c5, d5, he can take and then play knight b6. Yeah, he wants that c5 move. Okay, maybe this. Try to get him to play f3, try to provoke that move, and then retreat the bishop to e6. Looks smart. Now this diagonal's open. Perhaps I can take advantage somehow. Queen c2. Yeah, let's just castle. Still looking for c5, d5. Let's go here, cover the b8 square. Yeah, he's playing in positional fashion. Good plan, I think. I'm going to go here, maybe with an eye towards playing f5. Let's open this side of the board. Give him something to think about. All right, let's take here. If he takes with the pawn, maybe knight f6 and try to get into the g4 square. I'm not sure exactly where this knight is going. Like, maybe you can make a case for knight c5, but probably better to send it back this way. Okay, knight h5 or queen d7. He can cover with king h2. But maybe this. I'm not used to having to play with the initiative. This is like a new thing for me, playing with the initiative in a Sicilian. I was hoping he would play bishop f2 there, but he sidestepped that nicely. I'd like to trade the dark square bishops if I could. It's difficult to enforce, though. I still think he's going to go for c5. What am I playing against that? I'm not sure. But I do think I need my queen over here. Okay, this is going to look weird, but I'm going to try to double my rooks. He's content to play against my doubling. Okay. Queen e2 hitting my knight. I'm down time, down a lot of time. So let's play a little faster if we can. Hopefully he does me a favor and plays bishop g5 and trades. That would be excellent if he did, but I'm not expecting it. Okay, looking for bishop g5. I want to get at that g3 weakness. That's the prime directive right now. Thanks, Saif. Saif says, greetings from Oman. And thank you, Riley. And how's it going, Philip Watts? Colin is here. Hey, Colin, how's the job search going? Fill us in. I modded you up because you said you didn't have a job. So let us know what's going on. Okay. Yeah, he's being stubborn. Let's invade this way. Not sure what my queen's going to do on the other part of the board, so. Attacking this knight. He can defend it with his queen, like queen d3. Seems sensible. I'm actually going to come back here and defend this pawn. I can't lose the d6 pawn. That's absolutely critical. Maybe I can play queen c1 and, queen a3 trying to come to the c1 square. We're going to start maneuvering. There's been a lull in the proceedings. I suspect queen d2 will be the answer. Or queen c2, okay. But he's on the defensive now. I can go knight c5, try to slowly improve my position. Oh no, he had knight b1 there. He could have played knight b1. I hope. Okay, I'm gonna do this now so that if knight b1 I have queen c5. That would have been a heck of a queen trap. I'll show you guys that after the game, but that would have been funny. Okay, now I'm feeling good. I like my position again, all of a sudden. Okay, let's go here and just reinforce. He takes, okay. All right, we got the two bishops now. It's hard pressed to defend. Let's just improve our position slightly. Knight b1 again. Ooh, no. He's gambling. Knight c4 probably. But okay, I'll retreat like this. I don't mind this. Let's just do this, and then he's trying to blockade. Oh, drops a pawn, though. And g3 is hanging. Let's go h5. This is my wheelhouse, guys. Let's just stop that pawn. The endgame wheelhouse. He can go e5 check, but I'm going to win this pawn. Should be a technical win. Yeah, and he's out of time as well. First win of the session. Okay. So I don't go like 0-7 or 0-8 or 0 in however many games I play. You just feel relieved when you get that first victory in. I even have this feeling when I enter a tournament, even if it's like a 9-round tournament and I'm one of the higher seeds, I just think to myself, what if I lose every single game in this tournament? What if I just have a disastrous event? Like catastrophic type thinking. So it's always nice when you get that first win under your belt and you can relax a little bit mentally. So the move that I was alluding to, if we go back, yeah, I almost just self-trapped my queen. I did self-trap my queen, actually. He just didn't see it. It was... Yeah, right here. When bishop e1 was played, knight here, he could have played this. Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. It was a couple moves back farther. It was when his... the c5 square was covered, right? Yeah, right when I jumped into c5. So my knight is blocking my queen's diagonal retreat to the c5 square. So here, knight b1 would have worked. And my queen is under attack. I can't go to b4 or a5 due to the bishop. Over. So close call right there. Thank you for the support, Jamie. Much appreciated. Emily says, anyone else have a crush on John? Judging by some of the comments I've received, I would say the answer is definitely yes. Thank you, BS Darian. All right, let's get in another game here. We've got 224 people watching. Thanks to all of you for tuning in on a Saturday or Sunday, depending upon where you're at. This is your friendly reminder that I'm powered by Starbucks, even though I'm not paid to say that. Starbucks, get at me. G. Taylor is watching from his friend's house on his phone. That's dedication. Yeah. Do not stream this in your car. If you're driving, I would prefer you to shut off the stream and focus on driving. If you're a passenger in the car, it's okay. Don't relay what's happening to the driver, though, because they might get so excited that they get distracted. Okay, you know what? Let's play knight f6. Let's play a knight f6 Scandinavian. And of course he plays knight f3. Okay, I'll try to keep it in knight f6 Scandi territory. So I've never been a big fan of knight f6 on move 2, but I've had some requests to play that, and it is interesting. It's most interesting if white tries to hold on to the d5 pawn, but my opponent here is not doing that. So we might have a little bit more of a boring game. Let's go knight d7 and try to attack e5. We're playing Ricardov. Okay, maybe I give a check just to simplify. Yeah, let's do it. Try to get him to play bishop d2. We'll take that. I'm hoping d4 is a bit weak. That's my incentive in playing this way. We'll just come back here. I'd say on the whole, the position's going to be pretty level. Now he has to take with a pawn, because if he takes with a knight, he would lose d4. So nice and compact structure. I'm going to go queen e7 just to get out of the pin. I could castle on either wing. I'll probably castle long. If I castle short, the game would be sharper. Maybe that's justified, but I don't know that white has weakened their king enough. Yeah, like he's already trying to discourage me from, or maybe sending a warning that if I castle kingside, he's going to attack me. Okay, so I wonder if this pawn could be a problem for him. You know what I'm going to do? I want to go queen here. I want to play that, but I'm worried about knight here. So let's play h6 first, and then queen b4. Because this looks irritating. His queen has to stay monitoring this pawn. If he goes a3, I can sink my queen into b3. I suspect if I would have played queen b4 on the last move, he would not have gone knight g5, but it makes sense to take that precaution. Okay, I can give a check here. Or I can also play a knight up. My knight up right away. Knight c5 or knight b6. Slight preference for knight c5 if I'm going to move the knight, but he can swap everything and then play queen d2 at the end. We're not winning material. I can check here. Yeah, let's give a check. Okay, we're going to do this. Look for some trades. Down a lot of time. Hopefully it doesn't matter. We're in an endgame. Queen b4, he can swap. Let's try to keep some stuff on the board. If queen b2, I can trade and then go check and then win the f2 pawn at the end of the line. So maybe he'll blunder into that. And he did. It's our lucky day, Team Scandi. Let's go after that pawn. Pre-move that. Now we got to win a knight ending up a pawn. It's not a simple task, let me tell you. Okay. I'm going to bring my king up a little bit. If king e3, I'll go knight g4 check. Let's go here. Not sure about h5. I probably would have kept my pawn on h4 if I were white. Probably next I'll play f6 to activate my king. Don't see too many other good ways of playing it, so yeah, let's do it this way. If he takes, I can take with the knight, and actually he has a hard time defending this, doesn't he? Originally I was going to take with the king, but now I see he really can't hold that h5 pawn. Yeah, he's just going to go there. Okay, let's take that. Let's go here, attack g2. If g3, I have knight e2 and pick up that pawn. So he's got to play g4 from the looks of it. Okay, let's play this and then go h5. Just get activated. I'm going to take that so I don't have to calculate stuff. He's giving a free pawn, so let's just push. King here. Sloppy. I guess I can play g5 then, but I should have seen that he can play king e4 now. He did not see it. Okay. I think we're escaping with this knight. I don't see any problems in that department. King f3, knight check. Let's go here. And then... Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm expecting b5. I'm just going to take. Takes that way. Okay. Let's come here. I want to attack this pawn. Let's go up like this. King c5 is an idea now. As is just knight a3. Attacking this pawn. If knight d4, I have e5. So we should be on our way to converting. Let's go here. Stay out of checking distance. So this pawn is falling, and then we're going to have 3 pawns. They are scattered, but 3 pawns are 3 pawns. Let's do this. Knight g5, probably forced now to go stop the h-pawn. Who knew that playing knight f6 in the Scandinavian leads to an endgame victory? Grinding out an endgame win. I was not aware of this. Okay, let's do this. Bring our knight back in the game. Probably give a check next, or play e4. He can't take it, so... Bring our king up. Yeah, and then just advance the pawn. Okay, so we ground out the win there. Yeah, he walked right into our tactic with queen b2, whereupon I was able to swap and then play knight d3 and go take the pawn on f2. After which, white always has some drawing chances. He's got more space than me and his king is centralized, but I have a compact position. I like my chances of success. But undoubtedly, if white plays well, they can put up a good fight. How's everyone doing in the chat? I saw something about Simon Williams, the Ginger GM. Yeah, Simon and I have plans to play a dual commentary. It hasn't happened yet, but it will happen at some stage. I promise you guys. What do you think about Jan and Nicholas from Chess24? Yeah, they're cool guys. They're both nice guys. German dudes. I like their videos. Jan has got a great style, and obviously I played Jan in that match recently. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. Jamie says, are you more focused on making videos / teaching or working towards becoming a GM? Definitely now I'd say working on videos, teaching, Chessable, all of that stuff. Pursuing Grandmaster requires single-mindedness, and I just don't have that at the moment. A few months ago, I did play those tournaments just to kind of test the waters and see. But I would say, as it stands right now, March 12th, 2016, I am more so focused on teaching and just kind of sharing my love for chess, basically. It would be nice to drop everything and pursue the GM title, but it's such a huge undertaking that I really go back and forth about whether I want to do it. And I'm a pretty practical person, and normally my sense of practicality kicks in, and I'm just like, okay, it's not really worth it. Like, my life would not significantly change if I made the Grandmaster title. But the amount of effort and money and time it requires, there's not really any payoff, is the thing. So I've said this before, but it would just be a personal goal if I ever did decide to do it. No other reason. Okay, let's play again. I'm at 23-21. I'm sorry that you're checking in from Jersey, Taylor. New Jersey. That's unfortunate. No, I'm just kidding. New Jersey YouTubers, please don't get angry with me. Thanks, First Among Equals. Where in Europe are you from? And Joe, I will try to play that Blackmar Daymar Gambit, I promise. I'll have white this next game, I hope, and we'll see if we can make it happen. So to get to a Blackmar Daymar, I gotta play d4 move 1 and hope that they play d5 so I can play e4. That's the Blackmar Daymar Gambit. The interesting thing there is black doesn't have to take on e4. They could play e6 or c6 if they're a French or a Caro-Kann player. So that might happen. All right, we're waiting for a game. Let's take a look at a game while we're waiting. Just see what the highest rated game going is right now. Valery Novachikov versus Berber. IM versus GM. Two Russian players going at it. Looks great for black, especially with knight e3 coming. That's a fantastic outpost square for that piece. So Berber is looking to jump in there. Sobreviviente again. Okay, well, let's see if he plays d5. No chance for it. All right, well, we're playing a main line. Guess we're playing a Nimzo. So sad to play a Nimzo Indian. Queen c7. Okay, let's do this. Queen c7 is kind of weird. Don't recall seeing it that early before instead of taking. So this is his plan. He's going to go what? He's going to go knight e4 next move? Okay, let's take this way. Like my pawn structure? It's pretty nice, right? Okay, e4 or e3. Let's do e3, a little bit restrained. So these pawns are bad, no question. But maybe I can like swing my rook up to d4 and try to get some play that way. Queen e4, I could try to transfer the queen. Let's do it. Maybe queen a3 is a good reply here. Let's go towards their king and see what happens. Queen e7 he could do, yes. I want to play g4 next. That's the move I'd really like to play. I'm thinking about it. g4 takes, rook g1, f5, h3, something like that. That looks fun. Okay, let's do it. It's a total 3-minute move, but we'll see how it pans out. If f5, h3, that's the idea. Just trying to attack that king. If queen g7, I probably have to trade because he's attacking c3. So I don't know if I have a choice in that matter. You're right, Joe. I could have played that move order. You're absolutely right about that. I didn't think about that one. Okay, I could also just sack the c3 pawn if I wanted. Take. He could push f4 in that case. Maybe it's all right for him. Queen h4, take here. Knight d2. Looks suspicious for me. Yeah, I don't like the look of that, so I'm going to do this. I'm expecting f4. I'm going to go e4. He's glued to the defense of this pawn for now. Problem is my pawn structure is really janky looking. Okay, check. He's going to e7 with his king, I guess. But then I have rook h1. Rook f7 he probably has to play. Okay. Weird position, folks. E5. Okay, let's try e5. I'm going to make a prophylactic move just to avoid any knight takes e5 business. I want to go bishop d3 and attack this pawn. That's the main idea. Just play this. Getting ready to bring the rook over. Good reply. Let's go here and defend g5. I'm down on time. But rook h1 is coming, so maybe. Eyes focused like a laser beam. Not looking at the chat. Okay, bishop a6. Knight d2. Nah, let's do this. Ah, you can just take. Take with the bishop. Well, I'm punting a pawn. I thought I could win h7, but I can't. Let's see if he takes. Let's do this. I guess knight c5 is possible. I thought I could play a5, but I can't. All right, I'm going to do it anyways. He has knight check, but I didn't see a good alternative. Okay, now we're going to try to maneuver the knight in to f6. Precisely f6. If rook f5, I'm going to go back to attack h7. Maybe I have just enough to squeeze out a draw somehow, but I'm kind of doubting it. You can play rook f5 now, I think, is maybe one issue. Maybe not. Okay. Hard to say what's happening here. Let's go like this. Ah, blunder again. Okay. I'm blundering like crazy. Let's go check and then take here. Ah, you can just take that way. This guy's killing me. Do I have a mate somehow? Okay, check. Check. Can do that. This is so weird. I feel like he's playing fast on purpose, but I'm not seeing the ways I can take advantage of his fast play. I'm trying to go after b8 now, or b6 rather. Let's do that. Ugh, this is ugly though. Got to eliminate this pawn somehow. Yeah, this is not going to work. Ah, yeah, I wasn't close to drawing there at the end. He always had the pawn protected. Sobre Viviente gets me again. A key moment was when I failed to win his h7 pawn. I was liking my chances to do that right about here, but what I missed is that after bishop takes c4, I'm not actually attacking h7 anymore because his bishop is pinning mine. So I ran out of steam, basically. I probably should have played knight d2, huh? Right here. Yeah, knight d2 just trying to hold c4, but even then, black is okay, I think. He could always play the bishop back to b7 then. Wasn't there knight e8 check? I thought so too somewhere, but maybe not. On g6, I thought I was winning the rook, or I could take on h7 next move. Completely missed that he could actually take with the king. There's so much stuff to consider there. Where's knight e8? At what moment would that have been possible? I was going to play knight e8 if king here, but I guess king e6, knight e8, he has rook g6 even. Black is slithering away. Liked my chances after g4, rook g1. The fact that I had to trade queens was kind of a bummer, though. I wish I could have done that without trading the queens. Maybe, therefore, I should play rook g1 first and then hold off on g4. That could be a better way of proceeding. That was a cool game. I agree. Hurt Swaddle. Who is this player? Sobre Renier Castellanos. That's the guy's name. Okay, I'm going to get back in the pool here. 2-2 so far. Not bad, not good. Lost to the same guy twice. Oh, that's the name of the soccer player, huh? Jose Mourinho? Clearly, I have no idea about soccer/football. Yes, Joe, I could have done that. You're right. d4, knight f6, knight c3. I didn't even think about that. Trying to get into a Blackmar Daymar. All right, let's go Scandi again. Against Novachikov Valerie. I'll play the queen takes line this time. He seems to be lagging a little bit. Let's play queen a5. I want to play queen d6 as well at some stage. He plays this line. This line's annoying. d3, bishop d2. I previously stated that one of the reasons I no longer play the queen a5 variation is specifically because of this line. Like, it's really annoying if white puts the pawn on d3 rather than d4. It looks like it would be more passive, but it's not. Black has to be more careful in these lines, because often white can use the d4 square to their benefit. Okay, we've got to play e6 now. I've had positions of this type before, so he's going to try to attack me on the king side. He might even play like a quick h4. He does. Okay, let's see if he wants to sack with h5. I'll take it if he does. I got to play b5, b4, or b5, a5. I've had a game or two like this. Yeah, let's take that. Wow, he's going all in already. Bold play from Mr. Novachikov. All right. He wants to make it a slugfest. Well, let's play b5 and just attack him here. Obviously, I have to watch h7. No doubt about that. We're going to try to gain some tempos and kind of defend for the moment. I'm going to take here, because if he takes with a knight, then he's a little bit distracted with that piece. So then probably knight d7, I think, is a good idea. Always knight f6 is in reserve. I might want to go and try to take his light square bishop, like maybe sack for that piece. I don't know. So I'm going to play rook b8. If knight g5, I have knight f6. Bishop c3. Queen f4, maybe? Yeah, let's go queen f4. Check, followed by, I'm thinking knight f6 now. Though there might be some bishop e5 issues. Can I take on a4? No, that's way too crazy. Taking on a4. Let's go here. Attacking his queen. I'm just trying to force it to an undesirable square. I have to bear in mind that bishop e5 would attack my queen and my rook, though. Let's not forget that. If queen h3, okay, he's going there instead. Knight d5 now. Okay, let's do that. Maybe he takes and plays rook e4. Then I have to watch the g4 square very closely. Maybe I can play queen h6. He's going to go pawn grabbing. Pawn hunting. Queen b4, does that get the queens off? I think it does. Well, that's very helpful if I can force a queen trade. It doesn't get the queens off the board. I spoke too soon. Okay, rook b7. c5 doesn't do much. Bishop b7, maybe. I want this knight gone. Bishop b7, he might just play... if knight c5, I have rook a8. I think I can do this. He has rook e4 here, if he wants. Probably queen d6 then. He's going to force the trade. Curious. Okay, so let's bring this back. Probably knight c5 coming. He could take on e6. That's a sacrifice he could always think about. I'm going to go here just to defend that pawn. My positional game is pretty gross right now, and he's got one pawn for the exchange. Maybe knight e5 attacking c6? I'd like to play knight d7 next move and try to swap these knights. If knight e5, probably rook b6 is what I'll play. That might have been a mistake by him. Okay, now I'm going to take here. Bring this all the way back. He is playing d4 next move, however. Man, his knights just completely own me right now. This is awful for my bishop. Yikes. Boy. Okay, I'm going to come here. He is knight d7. Going down in flames. And my bishop is still trapped. Wouldn't you know? Run, little pawn. Oh my gosh. I might actually survive this. f6. Knight h3, do go here. He can't take e6. Oh, he can come back there. Oh boy. Problem is he can maneuver his knight like pretty much wherever he wants. Oh, I lost on time. I gave it a good run, guys, with the H-pawn. I almost had a chance with that. But on the whole, I got outplayed in this one. Yeah, queen d4 check. I was happy to get the queens off, but then his knight started jumping in, and maybe I have to play c5 as a sacrifice. It might be worth it to just shed that pawn to open the bishop. I wasn't the master swindler in that one. Yeah, I was not the master swindler there. So, I'm not sure h4, h5, rook takes h5 should be working for him, but for a 3-minute game, it's certainly playable. I made some miscalculations. Like, queen b4 I thought was trading the queens. Missed that he had the a7 square. Easier to play for white, I think, if he manages to keep his structure intact. I thought knight d7 was a bad move, but most likely I took the wrong piece. Probably should take the knight, so he doesn't have two knights that are giving me nightmares. Instead of rook takes b3. Okay, well, let's get back in there. I'm 2-3. I don't even have a winning record so far. Okay, let's try the Blackmar-Daymar gambit this game. Again, they avoid it. My opponent is not biting. Let's go here. Just build some nice development. Get castled quickly. See what Berber is going to throw at us. Probably knight d5 now. I'm going to go here and try to use the c5 square. And then maybe play a4 and undermine. Try to force this pawn forward. I'll play a5 and just see if I can attack this pawn on a6 long term. Go rook e1. Let's keep up the tempo. Keep it going. Maybe here. Or actually I have knight c5 too. Knight c5 seems interesting. Let's do that. Attacking the bishop before recapturing on e5. In-between move. Intermezzo. Hey JJ, how's it going? Nice to see you tune into a stream. Yeah, Nightmares was a pretty bad pawn. That was awful, and I take full responsibility for it. Okay, so I can snatch that light square bishop if I want. Knight takes c6, and then take on a6. d4 is weak, however. This is such a pathetic bishop, I almost don't want to take it. Maybe just bishop d2, huh? Yeah, develop. He can't move this knight as is. So it looks better to develop our pieces. C4 or c3? Let's go c3. Get a trade in. Knight c4 doesn't trap your queen, does it? You have one escape square. I could take and then take on a6, however. That looks simple. Just trying to figure out if I can win more material. I'm not quite seeing how. Yeah, let's do it this way. And then take... Oh, I can't take on a6 even. He can take with the rook then. Queen is protecting this way. All right, let's develop. Still have a good position. Bishop right back. Okay. Let's come here, look for a trade. He's up on time, but he does have to defend this pawn. Maybe he can swap and play... Nah, bishop b5, c4, bishop takes d4 might work. Just maybe. Knight takes a6. He's coming in here, huh? I'm going to do that anyways. No fear. Probably has to play rook b2. I don't see any other good move for him. He's going to swap first, huh? Now rook b2. Okay. So bishop or rook d1 maybe. Just try to hold this. I got to speed up though. He's got 40 some seconds. Or yeah, not quite that much, but an edge on the clock. c4. I can do c4. If he takes a6, I take d5. He can play bishop b5 then, but still I'm coming out on top, I think. d5. Let's go here. So if he takes, I can take and then play bishop e4. Or maybe a6 is even better. Let's do a6. If bishop e4, he had rook a6, and I could have taken and then play a7, but I think this is a superior way of continuing. And this looks really ugly for him. But let's not drop our bishop. Let's avoid doing that. He's fighting against my pair of bishops plus a pawn. And I'm fighting against the clock mainly, as usual. I want to play rook b1 and then bishop b6. So let's do this. Plays rook b8. Okay. Let's go here. I'm going to go c5 and then try for bishop b6. Maybe I should have done this to begin with even. That might be over. Yeah, if he moves his knight a7, he loses actually 2 pieces in that case. So it's got to be too much. Yeah, you can't defend. All right, we win a game. We're back to 50%. So the bishops plus the a-pawn were too much for black to handle there. His position was sketchy out of the opening, however. I think knight c5 made our setup happen. He had to move his bishop in that case, and then I was able to take on e5 with the knight, and didn't play it perfectly thereafter, but I have a big advantage. Black's pawns are split up. a6 and b4 are weak. His development is kind of backwards. So we get the victory. People are getting banned in the chat. Yeah, I mean, if people are saying flagrantly rude, disrespectful things, you got to ban them. I gave Anton the ban power. Colin has the ban power. We don't like to ban people, but, you know, we got to have some decorum in the chat, guys. Don't ruin it. Hey, John, are you afraid of global warming? Yeah, it's a big problem. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to recognize that it's a big problem. And a lot of people just, you know, myself included, oftentimes just go about our lives kind of oblivious to it. But I do think global warming is a huge issue. All the scientists say so, and we should listen to them. Climate change is a problem. Thank you, Bruno. Jason is happy to be on Team Scandy. Let's keep going here. Pressing ahead. Is there a ranking for this tournament? Vincent, this is not a tournament. I'm just playing on the Internet Chess Club and just playing casual Blitz. So I have a rating, which is, after this game, 2302, but it's not, this doesn't affect my over-the-board rating whatsoever. I think you had knight e4 after knight d7, winning the bishop c6. Ah, yeah, you're right. That's a good point. I didn't see that move. Very nicely spotted. Right here, who was that who said that? Thorn Doe. Knight e4 is a nice backwards move because if you notice, the queen would be attacked. It would have to go back to e7, and then I could chop the bishop. I was mainly looking at knight c4 rather than knight e4. Backward knight moves are really tough to spot. And you've heard me say this before, but yeah, they're some of the most difficult moves to play in chess. Because with our knight, for whatever reason, we always want to be going forward with that piece, springing ahead. Speaking of which, I think daylight savings is tonight, right? So if you're in the US, make sure to set your clock ahead 1 hour. Spring forward, fall behind. That's the rule of thumb. Mac 3. Wow, we're getting a lot of chances to play d5, and I will, of course, oblige. Let's play queen d6 this game. I don't know that I've ever played this move, to be quite honest. I can't recall any games where this has been a thing. Okay, I'm going to play bishop g4 and pin him. Maybe knight b5 is a good reply, but knight b5, and if queen d8, he had bishop takes f7. I'm not sure. Now this looks like a normal Scandi where the queen is on d6, so it should be okay. Okay, let's play c6. Setting up the classic Scandi structure, e6, c6. Go here. This pin is awkward for him. Actually, I could take d4 and win a pawn, so let's do that. This queen is no longer defending. Win z pawn. Queen c5. Yeah. It hits the bishop. Maybe he won't notice. The nice thing when you win a pawn in these scenarios, especially the pawn on d4, you have such a compact structure that it's hard for white to get compensation without sacrificing something. So I've been in this situation before where white will just go bombs away on e6 as a way to shake up the game because they don't see any other pawn targets to attack. Yeah, tomorrow at 2 a.m. is daylight savings. That's right. AKA this morning, basically. Okay, queen a5. He's taking a lot of time. He's not happy with this position, I take it. g7 is undefended. He could think about playing queen g3 and going after that, but I can just castle, and if bishop h6, knight h5 should handle everything, attacking the queen and defending g7. All right, I think I'm happy to make this swap. And then let's play knight f6, attacking the queen again. It's possible an opposite colored bishop position could emerge, but I can try to grind out a win. Okay, if knight d5, bishop g5, I think is his plan. Queen h4 is provocative. It's interesting. Maybe I can play knight d5, bishop g5, h6, but I'm going through a lot of trouble just to trade. Probably going to castle. Let's do that. I think he's still going to play bishop g5 and maybe think about a sacrifice, but no, rook d4. Rook to d4. Any way to win material? Probably not. Let's just go for trades. Rook a4. That would have been nice to see that one. I'm just missing stuff. Okay, let's go here and attack the b2 pawn at least. If rook takes a7, maybe knight d5. And attack his queen. Discovered attack on his queen. He has queen d4 in reply. I think the position's about level now, even though he has this bizarre-looking rook on a7. Maybe after queen d4, I can play queen b8 and try to take advantage. Let's attempt it. Defending the b pawn simultaneously. He's under a minute now. Did anyone ask John what he thought of the whole candidates coverage debacle? Yeah, I've heard about that. Does c5 work here? Queen a4. He's holding. That's a pesky move. What about bishop f6, though? That almost works. Well, at least bishop f6, he has to play queen c5. And then I could repeat, or I can do that. You can also play that one. Like I said, guys, just missing stuff. That would drop the bishop. Let's not do that. Okay, I'm going to go here with the very sneaky threat of b5 now. And I'm on the rook. This is a weird game. I won a pawn out of the opening for almost nothing. Can I play b5 now? I think I can. Does it blunder? Okay, let's do it. Rook a8, maybe he can play. Queen takes, rook takes. He takes on c6 at the end. That's a funny line. Oh no, rook a8 I can take a4, and then he takes b8 and I take. And that's working. He's running out of time. This is the best strategy in Blitz, right? Just confuse your opponent. Confuse them to the utmost and win on time. Let's play g6 just to make absolute certain that we don't get mated. Yeah, you just resign. And then immediately sent me a rematch request. Okay, so must have had a better way to do this. Knight f6 and then rook d4 seems coffee house, but it carried with it that rook a4 idea. I just thought he was trying to swing the rook over to the king side. But in reality, I think rook a4 was his plan. Probably I should have played queen c7, something like that. Yeah, people in the chat are getting filled in on that. But apparently Aegon, which is running the candidates tournament, it's, I think, a British corporation that has been tasked with, or actually bid on the candidates, and a lot of other top-level FIDE events, including the World Championship, if I'm not mistaken. They are trying to prevent the live relay of the candidates games by other chess sites. So they're trying to enforce this ban whereby other sites like Chess24, ICC, ChessBomb, all those guys are not allowed to real-time relay the moves. And this is kind of unprecedented in chess, I think. And a lot of people are questioning whether it's even legal for them to do that. And they haven't said that you can't get the PGNs for the games, but only you can't like live relay them as they're happening. So I haven't read up a ton on what's going on with that whole scenario, but that's my understanding of it. And a lot of people are complaining, and rightly so, I think. Like someone was posing a hypothetical, what if you were following the games on worldchess.com, which is the site hosting the candidates, and then creating your own board on a site like chess.com or wherever, and putting the moves in, you know, and not putting even the names or even any reference to who is playing the game. Like, is that copyright infringement? I don't know. That's a pretty gray area, I think. And the fact that it's such a gray area makes me think that it's unenforceable, this ban that they're trying to implement. It seems really difficult for them to actually prove that people are stealing the moves. Aegon is kind of a weird company, though, it seems to me. And a lot of people are criticizing the candidates' coverage already. I agree that they've been pretty amateurish in the past. Okay, let's get in for another game. We're about at the 1 hour mark. Salvador says, John, c5, and if queen a4, b5, c4 won the bishop. Oh, I could have done it in that move order, huh? I was looking at that. So you're saying c5 right here. c5, aha, queen a4, and then b5. But he can go to a5, right? Queen a5, did you mention that move? Oh, c4 won the bishop. I see. So you're actually not going to go after the rook. You're going to go after the bishop. That's a good line that you put in there, Salvador. So c5, queen a4, b5, attacking the queen. Queen a5 or queen a6, and then c4. And yeah, that bishop is stuck. And I don't think anything like if queen a6, rook b7, that shouldn't work. Yeah, the bishop is still trapped. Nicely done. John, in your opinion, what are the strong points for the three big chess sites, Lichess, ICC, and chess.com? Well, Lichess has a lot of features, and it's free. The developers at Lichess, the volunteers, Thibault, I think is the correct pronunciation. He has done a fantastic job in building Lichess, and Lichess is beloved by the chess community because of how great a site it is, and all for free. And moreover, they pledged to stay free indefinitely. So you got to hand it to him for that. ICC has been traditionally the strongest chess club online. So there is something to be said for ICC's longevity, and also the fact that the best players in the world continue to play here year after year. And chess.com, I think, is kind of a combination of both of those. Obviously, chess.com charges for some of their services, premium, which is, I mean, I have no problem with that. Chessable does the same. We have premium memberships. Chess.com, I like the fact that it's like a community. Their video archive is second to none on the internet. And they also have a fair amount of strong players playing. And they have Title Tuesday, which is great. They put up prizes. Chess.com is making the most top-level events happen. That's for certain out of the 3 sites that you listed. And I teach most of my lessons on chess.com too. They have the best platform for teaching as it stands now. Okay, I'm playing bishop g5, trying to attack e7. If they play h6, okay, I'm going to keep the pieces on the board. This is a typical maneuver, trying to keep black cramped. I don't want to simply trade on e5 for no reason. I did this in another game recently in another stream. Against Map Master was my opponent in that game. Okay, so... I almost want to play... Does that work? f4, knight here, e5. Almost looks like it works. Well, let's start with f4. Force the knight back to d7. e5 take d6 is my plan. Let's give it a shot. Maybe he can just play f6. But I can't resist this one, and it's 3-minute. Chess 24 I don't have so much experience with, so I wish I could offer an opinion on Chess 24, but really I've only played there a few times. The matches against Niklas and Jan. And yeah, I don't have a strong enough base of experience yet to really talk about that. So if knight e4 take, d6, he has f6. Doesn't appear to be working. Okay, I think I'm just going to take because he has to take with the knight. So that at least appears to slow him down. Let's go here. Still trying to target e7. He might go rook e8 to reinforce. If rook e8, probably knight c4. It would be nice to budge this knight, since it is such a strong piece on its current square. Okay, let's do that. I wonder if he'll try some funky g5 type move coming up here. I think he wants knight f5. We better do this in that case. Look for a swap. My king is on a weird square, though, undeniably. Knight c4 still? Yeah. e7 remains weak. We have swapped the dark square bishops now. But e7 could be a tender point in black's camp. Yep, I like Chess Tempo, Daniel. Chess Tempo is a good site. Highly recommended. Okay, let's go queen here, attack e7. Probably rook e8 will be played. And let's bring this baby over. d6 idea is always in the air now. Let's go queen e5. If queen b6 looking to avoid the trade, maybe d6 is working. He's going to hold fast. Okay, knight e4 could be tried now. Let's do it. Okay, he's swapping and then taking and probably bishop f5 at the end. Let's go back here and just defend this pawn. I like this endgame. This looks like a good endgame for me. I'm going to try to play for g4. He can play h4 himself. Okay, let's do this. He goes back. All right. Well, let's take that. I'm going to try to swing over and checkmate him. h3 is loose, though, isn't it? Better bring this up. Moreover, my time is a problem. Bishop g4, I'll play rook h2. Let's go here. I'm threatening rook takes g4. He can move this rook, though, to a protected square. I have this now. Okay, threatening here. Let's give a check. Yeah, now I'm just going to try to check him and somehow mate him, if possible. Let's bring this up. So king is marching up to f7 to take this. Let's go here. We're taking this pawn next move. And then we're taking e6. And we're going to give a check. And we're going to win this. Oh, I blundered that pawn, but okay. Get the victory. Well, I snuck one by him with rook takes g4. I think he could have avoided that by playing maybe rook a8. That was a key moment right there where the game is hanging in the balance. He's trying to stop my rook invasions on the g and the h files, but in playing rook d8, he didn't solve the problem, and the problem is his loose rook. I'm threatening rook takes g4, h takes g4, rook check on h8, and then skewering him. And I think if he would have played rook b to a8, he would have made it very difficult for me in time pressure. I was thinking d6 then, but my bishop is pinned, so that hampers some of the tactical threats I can create. But yeah, on rook d8 take, I'm winning now, just up a piece. So nice to get a victory. Thank you, Lightning Sock. I'm going to play one more game and then answer some questions from you guys. Just chill for a few minutes and probably wrap up this stream. So let's get back one more game. Let's bring the fire in this final one, right? Mr. 8-Eye, I probably won't show you my room right now because I'd have to walk around my room with my webcam, which I don't want to do. This room is not that exciting. There's a bunch of chess books right over here. I'd also have to reposition my webcam, which gets kind of annoying sometimes with the recording software. Yeah, there's a bunch of chess books right over here. It's just an average size room. My house itself is a little more exciting. Chessable will definitely become the go-to site for any chess player. Couldn't see that whole comment, but thank you. We have high hopes for Chessable, so we want to get more content on there. David, my co-founder, has done a great job of making site improvements. We're still technically in open beta, so meaning there are improvements we're implementing right now, and there's been a lot of Chessable users who have come through with some great feedback. And the fact that many of you watching have offered feedback of a highly useful variety has been great. Okay, e4 keeps getting played. But yeah, we're excited about Chessable. We think that we can do big things with the site. We want more content on the site. That's the major thing. And users have been submitting repertoires too, which if you're a pro member on chess.com, you can submit a repertoire. And you can buy a pro membership for as little as $9.99. Okay, I'm going to drop my queen back to c7. Joaquincel, 2138. Fire emojis in full force. John, do you ever go pantsless for your videos? Nope, never done that. I often will slightly dress up for my videos, like wear a collared shirt or something, because I feel like I play better that way. It's just this effect. He could try d5 here if he wants to open the center, but I can take with the c-pawn and keep things closed. He's going to do it. He heard me. So knight b5, no big deal. Okay, here, I think his issue might be that the c2 is weak at the end of this line. Clearly, I have to take, though, right away. Now, bishop takes c2, queen e2. I want to take this pawn. Nah, let's not do it. Let's be practical for one moment in our life and not greedy. He's going to play bishop back to b3, and then I can go knight c5 and try to eliminate the bishop. Or that move, yeah, you can also play. Maybe I'll go here. Now he has bishop takes h7 then. Okay, let's do this. And then knight f6. I'm curious if he'll play rook h4 and try to attack me. He might. Nope, he just goes back. All right, so let's go and attack the c2 pawn. Now things have stabilized somewhat after that flurry of activity in the center. Let's play rook here, line up with his queen. He might try to stick a knight on d4. He does have to solve the problem with the h2 pawn, though, straight away. Dress for success, that's right. There's something to be said for that. Yeah, you have to be pro to publish a repertoire, aka make it available to other chessable users. But anyone can submit or upload their own repertoire if they want. Okay, can I take here? No, that doesn't work whatsoever. Okay, I'm gonna play Queen C4 and see if we can play an endgame. Also, he can't move his rook to the center because the A2 pawn would hang. Okay, let's just come here with the idea of playing knight d5 next move. If rook d1, knight d5, attack the bishop. I might launch a mini minority attack, trying to go b5, b4. Sidestep. b5, b4 would try to weaken this queenside structure that white has, 3 versus 2. Rook g4. Let's try rook g4. Attack this bishop, which doesn't have a lot of squares. Might have to go back to e3, in fact. Knight e4. Oh, wow. Did I, like, self-trap my rook? I might have done that. I guess I can play here. This is not so comfortable, though. I don't like the fact that my rook is on g4 at the moment. Let's take. Yeah. He's still taking advantage. If rook f5, knight d6 was working, I might survive this, but it's really close. Let's go here. c4 could be a good move. Wait, what? Oh, rook takes d5 is this point. Okay. I see you. Okay, well, let's go here. Get rid of the back rank issue. If he goes knight c5, then I play rook takes b2. So this is heating up quickly. So let's do that. He can win a6, but I win c3 or a2. In fact. Maybe I can turn the tables on him. Again, I'm experiencing trouble here with my rook. Okay, my idea is if h3, take. Aha, and he fell for it. And then we fork the 2 rooks. Some crazy back and forth rook action going on. And I'm up some time, and I'm going to be up 2 pawns in the endgame. Yeah, he just resigned. Fortunate for me that he played h3, allowing rook takes e4. That's why I played king g7, because if I play rook takes e4, knight takes c3 here, he has rook d8 check to get one of his rooks out of the attack. So king g7 was prophylaxis so that he doesn't have a check on d8 anymore. And lo and behold, it worked out. Yeah, people are asking why you have to be pro to publish repertoires, and Jacob kind of said one of the reasons. He said it's a helpful way to keep the quality on the site high and avoid spammy repertoires. Yeah, I mean, one fear is that if we open it up to everyone, people will just submit literally anything, and we would have to review it, and also make sure it doesn't infringe on any copyrights, which is a lot. Also, with pro, I mean, people who are paying for the site are by nature going to be a little bit more serious about the work they're submitting, I think. And yeah, it is a nice filter in that sense. Also, just as a company, it's the correct business decision, I think, to allow publishing only as a pro feature. It's one of the incentives for people to get pro. I think Chessable would be interesting if people could comment on those repertoires and give comments or show opposing lines that might counter those and see if the creator has a response. You can do that, Josh. You can leave a comment on any move in a repertoire. So not even any variation, any move. You can leave a comment, and like I've responded to many comments on my Scandinavian repertoire in the past. And you could make a repertoire yourself. You could make like the John Bartholomew anti-Scandinavian repertoire if you want to try to bust my lines in there. That would be kind of cool, actually. I'd like to see that. Yeah, Hertz Waddle. That game went from looking bad to looking promising after I played g5 and he had to go knight c5 and give up the b pawn, and then to outright winning after knight takes c3. I don't think he can avoid being 2 pawns down here. He's got to defend his rooks, and then I take and take a2, and that's an easy endgame victory up the 2 pawns. If I didn't have the e pawn, that would be a different story. White would have good drawing chances, but with the e-pawn, it's over. I'll push the a-pawn, and then I'll create another pass pawn on the king side, most likely. John, are square highlights, arrows, and other visual aids going to be coming to Chessable? Yeah, we want to add in arrows and stuff. We added in a click to move feature recently, which is good. So David's been doing a good job. We are only 2 people, David and myself, and I'm like the chess and promotion side of the site, and David is the programming side. But we are trying to get some help and hire some people who can help us improve the site. So we want to make it even better. I agree, Anton. This was a really weird string of games I had in this stream. Should I play one more? I didn't get to play the Blackmar-Daymar gambit like Joe requested. My opponents kept avoiding it by playing d4, g6, and then I can't gambit the pawn if they don't have something to take my pawn on e4 with. Did John answer the question about if he'd date a girl better than him at chess? Yeah, absolutely. I have no qualms about that whatsoever. I don't date chess girls, though, honestly. I've always stayed away from that. Not that I wouldn't date like a girl who's good at chess, but I've seen guys get into relationships with girls who are active in the chess community, and it's not such an ideal relationship, in my opinion, most of the time. I like girls who have a passing interest in chess, but are not like super competitive about chess, if that makes sense. Maybe because I do chess all the time, I kind of want a partner who is not like engrossed in the game themselves, but is like kind of just casually interested in the game. One more game? You guys think one more? Jake is asking if I ever played the Icelandic Gambit. I was going to play that in that knight f6 Scandi game, Jake, but I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to do it because he played e4, d5, e takes d5, knight f6, knight f3. The Icelandic Gambit is the following. Whoops. Let's not start with d4. And then knight f6, d4. Wait, how does it go now? Is it c4? I think it's c4. Yeah, it's c4. And then e6 take and bishop takes e6. Black gives up a pawn, but has good compensation in the center. And I know one idea is if white plays d4, you go here and you try to threaten bishop takes c4 with check. When I used to play knight f6, whenever my opponent played c3 or c4 on move 3, I would usually play c6 instead of e6. But I have a feeling e6 is even stronger because the Icelandic Gambit, as far as I know, is sound. So someone asked if I have a girlfriend. Nope. Yeah, I'm single as of a few weeks ago. My girlfriend and I broke up, unfortunately. Actually, we broke up the day before the match with Jan Gustafsson. So if that gives you a timeline, I'm not going to say that's why I lost to Jan Gustafsson. No way. My mental faculties were completely fine, and I was not emotionally unstable. But yeah, I usually don't talk about my personal life on the stream, but since you guys are asking. So I'm single and ready to mingle. The Portuguese Gambit is also very interesting. So the Portuguese Gambit is d4, and then instead of recovering the pawn, knight takes d5 or queen takes d5, black plays bishop g4. And then after f3, bishop f5, white can go c4 and try to hold on to d5, but black can play e6, and this leads to some crazy complications like this, which I believe Smerdon, Grandmaster Smerdon, analyzed in his recent book on the Scandinavian. I think the Portuguese variation is his principal recommendation. It's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, like most players who are halfway knowledgeable about this line will avoid it. Like you won't find too many people willing to go through the meat grinder to hold the pawn on d5 like this. Clearly, white has weakened themselves somewhat. They played f3. They made a lot of pawn moves. Just not a good idea for white to venture down this line, I don't think. Thank you, Riley. No, that's life. That's life. It was a good breakup. It was all right. John, what book resource would you recommend for an e4 player trying to work in depth on a mainline Rui? The Bolagan book that was published recently is excellent. Yeah. Although, are you talking about from the white side? You must be talking about from the white side. For the white side, it's a little harder. There's not as many like holistic books on the Roy Lopez for white. Like Kalifman's books come to mind, his openings for white according to Anand, but those are pretty old by now. So I don't know off the top of my head. Most repertoire books are written for black. It's just the way it goes. Someone out there should make a chessable repertoire. Roy Lopez is white. Heck, maybe I'll do it at some point. Okay, I'm going to play one more game and then chat with you guys a little bit, and then we'll wrap it up and make it like a hour and a half, hour 45-minute stream, I suppose. Jason, I have some ideas in mind, but I'm not working on any gigantic chessable repertoire right now. I have some ideas in mind, though. I'm going to start working on one. Is your passion for chess a turnoff for girls, you think? No. Yeah. Most of the girls I've dated in the past are impressed by the whole chess thing. Especially now that I have the YouTube channel. I can just show them my channel, and even if they know nothing about the chess community, like, they recognize when you have like X number of subscribers and people seem to like your videos. So they don't have to know anything about chess to appreciate that. So that's kind of cool. I wouldn't date a girl if she was anti-chess. Why are repertoires mainly for black instead of white? Probably because it's easier to tackle, Josh. You can just recommend a certain line and try to diffuse the tries. And also making a repertoire for white is a tall order, right? Because you basically have to prove an advantage in like everything black is throwing at you. Okay, here we go. Blackmar, Daymar, Gambit, just for you, Joe. And then knight c3, and if knight f6... Oh, he's playing my line that I recommended in the chessable repertoire. Sentovich, have you been studying my stuff? Okay, this is going to be a problem. I'll play d5 and try to avoid any trades in the center. f5 is a pretty good move here, though. Okay, let's go here. Yeah, e5 is a good way to play against this. No two ways about it. Dude's counter-pinning me. That's also a good move. Let's go here and try for a3. He could have taken on d5, couldn't he? Queen takes d5. Okay, well, at least this way I can try to win my material back. I know he can defend this pawn. Knight b5? Knight b5 followed by d6. How about that? Yeah, let's do it. Aggressive. No other way to play this position. I mean, I could try to recover the e-pawn, but that wouldn't be so good. d6. d6, castle's queenside is his plan. Okay, let's just play queen d2. He's going to castle short. Makes sense. Let's play bishop e2. He might go c6 is the thing. But I like my knight on b5. It's nice and stable there. Stable square for the pony. Okay, this knight is hanging, but what can I do? I can't do much to take advantage of that. Let's retreat here. He's going to play knight c5. I guess I can go here and attack that knight now. Knight e6. Knight takes e4. Queen g6. Something along those lines. This is what happens when I try to play gambits, right? Oh gosh, knight d4 is really strong here, I think. Okay, he took with the bishop. That's better. Queen takes e5. Can I get away with it? I think I can. Let's do it. So I gambited a pawn only to get behind in development and experience associated problems. Note that his knight can't jump to like d4, f4 here, so that helps. Knight g5. Let's go here. Rook takes e2, knight takes e2. I don't see a follow-up for him, so I think that's okay. Evan's got the fire emojis out. So does Hertzwaddle. Thank you, guys. Wait a minute. Take g3 is his plan. Ah, you clever. Okay, but I have bishop d3 then. Are you sure that this works for you, dude? Bishop d3 after knight takes g3. He was hoping for queen takes g6, knight takes e2 check. But instead, we get him back with this. And now if knight e4, I have f3. That move I didn't see, but does it work? Okay, king h1. What's going on here? Queen h5. I guess it's working. Might have to go take on c6 now. Go after that pawn. My time is a problem, but... Okay, I'm going to do this just to keep it simple. I wasn't sure how else to play it, honestly. Okay, let's play b4. So he's got great rook activity, but I am up a pawn. Hard to know who to prefer here. Rook e4. Okay. Check. I'm just going to be really greedy. If rook h4, I think I can play queen c7. I guess he has rook e5 though, doesn't he? Rook e5. I missed this move. Check. Okay, let's give it check. Yeah, he still has rook g5 now. Oh, I'm going down in flames. I have nothing here. I'm just losing. Oh. The Blackmar-Daymar gambit refuted. Sentovich just knew what to do. And I even recovered the pawn, and actually I thought I was just winning, but knight e2 check is a good move. Yeah, queen takes e2, he has rook takes e2, and he comes out on top. Or at least he doesn't lose anything. So maybe queen takes a7 was too risky. I missed rook e5. That was a nice interference move, and I think I'm busted here, because how else do I defend h2? And the point is, if I play h3, he plays rook takes h3, g takes h3, king g1, rook g5 check. I guess I have queen g3 there, but my king is incredibly exposed. Oh, maybe that's worth trying. Let's take a look at that moment. Yet again, I lose the game where I was going to quit if I had won it. I thought it was going to end nice and pretty after bishop d3, like that move caught him by surprise, but no, he has knight e2 check. So here I suppose I have to play h3, and then after take here. Oh no, he can just check here though. Yeah, this is winning. Although, okay, I can play king h1, rook h5, queen h2. So maybe I'm barely holding on. I have to give up my queen, clearly. Check here, check, something like that, and he has the option to take a perpetual or try to play for a win. But I do have these a and b pawns, like maybe I could push my a pawn and try to hold. I think he was studying my repertoire. He knew about e5. Now I'm getting goaded into playing another one. Can't end on a loss, I agree. Must claim back the points. All right, let's try one more. I am disappointed by that one. And he's under 2,000. That hurts my rating significantly. I was putting in a good session until then. Oh, and of course it's D. Patchy, the guy who's giving me all sorts of trouble. He plays bishop f4 usually. London system. This guy beat me twice in the last stream, or the last session I did, 3-minute session. Okay, let's fire up here though. I'm gonna go a6 just to rule out any b5 business. And maybe even come back with the queen now. Yeah, how about that? If he takes, play e6 and then recover the pawn. This knight on a3 looks kind of silly, so I don't believe it. Okay, total focus. Gotta beat D. Patchy. Nothing else matters. Okay, let's take here. This pawn's always defended, so I like that. Maybe I can go c4 next move. Or take on d4 even. Let's take, actually. I think he's got to take this way, the e-pawn. Otherwise, here, check is unpleasant for him. Yeah, he figured that out. Okay, let's play bishop d6, look for a swap. Rook b8 coming next move. I don't think his coordination is so great here. I think is one of his issues. Now he's got to play queen c2 to defend, and his knight is just kind of stuck there. E5 maybe? No, let's just castle first. I think playing for C5 might be better than E5. Get rid of this backward pawn. My knight defends H7, so that's fine. Graphic says, get Minnesota with it. I'll try. Face down your Deepatchy demon. Okay, here is knight b5, his point. Probably is. Yeah, he's trying to get his knight back in the game. d4 or e5. I'd like to play e5 if I could. You know what I think I'm going to do is rook here, trying for e5. If he takes a6, I can trade and then take b2 at the end. I don't want to give his reason, a knight is a reason to jump into b5 is my whole point here. So let's push. b4. Okay, let's come back here. Wants a queen trade. But do I want a queen trade? I don't think so. So d4 takes knight d5 maybe. Yeah, let's do that. Knight d5, he has queen e4 though. Okay, so maybe I'll have to take back. Just e takes d4 if he trades. He's going to play queen d2 most likely. And now b6 is, or b4 is weak, but how to take advantage? Queen b6, perhaps. Yeah, let's do that. Hit this pawn. Let's go here. He can take. But I can take a2 maybe. Let's do this and just get behind. Point is, if takes, queen takes, bishop takes h7 is possible. g6. Let's go h6. Deepatchy always plays me tough. I want to go knight d5 and try to bring my knight into c3. I guess I can do it now. But yeah, he has a counter to that. Okay, a5 looks good. Just try to get rid of this backward pawn. a4, knight b4 though. Okay, let's go here. Watch that time, John. I have to tell myself to watch my time. Okay, let's go queen here. This piece is loose. He could go bishop h7 check and win it, but that would just be a trade. Okay. Take and take here. Okay, so we won a pawn. I like it. Let's go here, hit the bishop. And we're ahead on the clock. Listing all the reasons why I shouldn't mess this game up. Let's play g6. Look for a swap here, which would actually help us too. He's very low on the clock. I'm going after this bishop. Retreat the attacked piece. Check. All right, we won. We vanquished the demon. Deepatchy is dead. Finally got the monkey off my back. After his 2-0 beatdown he administered to me last time. Okay, I feel good about ending on that one. As I said earlier in the stream, it's best to have a set number of games you're going to play in advance, but since you guys wanted it, we can end on that one. Everyone's happy. Cool, the S-Man. Glad you caught a stream. Yeah, we're going to end this stream pretty soon because I've already gone 30 or 45 minutes over what I said I was going to do. But first, let's take some questions. John, when you were still playing e4 and bishop g5 Najdorf, what line did you play versus poison pawn and delayed poison pawn? You know, I didn't face the poison pawn that often. I got to say, I didn't encounter it. But when I did face the poison pawn, let me just flip the board. So the poison pawn variation is the following. And now queen b6. I usually opted for the main line. Bishop takes, or wait, queen d2 first? Yeah, bishop takes f6, take here, and then queen d2 is what I usually did. Take here, here, and then f5. I usually played for this, although there's that famous Vallejo versus Kasparov game where it was like 35 moves of theory, forced draw. So I'm not sure White even has anything in this line, but this is the way I would usually go. Also on Chessable, I talk about this funny line in the poison pawn that I caught someone with. I was able to catch like an 1800 player one time with this kind of cheeky line. Playing a3 here, which I think is the third most popular move according to the database. And the idea is if queen takes b2, knight a4. And this is what my opponent did, and black's queen is trapped. a3 has taken away the b4 flight square, and b6 is also taken away by the knight. So black's stuck. Knight 1 in short order. So you can play a3 if you want to give your opponent a chance to blunder their queen, but honestly, a3 is not that great of a move. I just included it because it is a trap that both sides should be aware of. What's the highest rated player you've beaten and the lowest rated player you've lost to? Highest rated player I've beaten? Probably... It's a really good question. I beat Alex Shabalov when he was US champion and over 2,600. I don't know how high into the 2,600s he was, but I haven't beaten like a super strong grandmaster, like a 2,650 plus. I've beaten a couple 2,600 pluses, but not like a 2,650 or top 100 player in the world before, I don't believe. And as far as lowest player I've lost to, I remember losing a game when I was like 2,100 to I think a 13 or 1,400. And that's probably the biggest rating disparity I've experienced in a loss. What do you think about Hikaru's blunder today? It seemed like Hikaru just missed rook c7 at the end of the line, which is highly unusual for him. I don't know if he was in time pressure or not. I wasn't following the games. But yeah, it looks like he just missed a move at the end of the variation, which is instructive when that happens. Who's your favorite non-super GM? Non-super GM. Well, Karpov is not a super grandmaster anymore, but that answer probably doesn't count. I'm going to go with Yannick Pelletier because he defeated two very high-rated players in the past year. He beat Carlsen at the Olympiad, right? And then he beat Nakamura as well. So that gives inspiration to all of us players who are not in the top 100 in the world, that we can still knock off an elite player on a given day if we play really well and they do not play well. So shout out to Pelletier. I haven't seen Deadpool yet. Would you stream against Hutch sometime? Yes, I would like to. That'd be cool. Bring some chess exposure to people who watch Hutch's videos. And Hutch's videos, when he does chess, are pretty popular. Someone asked about blindfold games. No plans to do that. Blindfold's really tough. And I don't think it has much practical value, but it is interesting to see. So maybe I'll fire up a blindfold video sometime. What is the minimal number of chess tactics a U1800 player should do per day to keep chess form? I don't know if you have to do a certain number of problems, but solving for like 15 to 30 minutes per day is pretty good. Most importantly, if you're U1800, you probably just need to play a lot more serious games in general. That's more important than solving tactics, in my opinion. What do you think of the English opening? Decent opening, I play it. I play it myself. Who'd you say is the best commentator putting out content these days? As far as a YouTube commentator, that's a really good question. Chess24 puts out a lot of really good stuff. They're not exactly an individual, though. I like Christoph's videos a lot. He always does a good job. So for guys who are posting every day, I like Christoph's a lot. I travel every once in a while for chess, Gart. Yep. I just played 4 tournaments a couple months ago. Nightdorf for Chessable soon. Yeah, if someone wants to create a Nightdorf repertoire, they definitely can. Problem is, there's like 100 different repertoires I would like to create, but I don't have the time to get to everything. So I just kind of got to pick and choose what I want to do. But our hope for Chessable is that people will add the stuff that they want to see, and it'll be a community. And also that we can even get some mainstream publishers on board. So I've been talking to some of them to try to convince them that Chessable is a worthwhile site to publish traditional chess books on. How long did it take you to play blindfolded? Additionally, how many hours of chess did you play a day when you were young? When I was young, it really depended. I made a lot of progress from grades like 6 through 9, and I was probably playing maybe 1 or 2 hours per day. If you count all my chess study, maybe 2 or 3 hours a day. When I was in school, of course, that probably dipped. I was never one of those kids who would lock themselves in their room and study for 5 or 6 hours, though. That never occurred to me. I did work on chess pretty hard once I became an IM, but even then, I feel like I haven't put in as many hours into pure chess studying as a lot of people do, especially some of these young prodigies. Oh yeah, Daniel King is really good. He has a good channel. He does mostly game reviews and stuff. He seems to be most active during tournaments. Priya, Hikaru blundered a piece in a combination against Sergei Karyakin today, where it looks like he just miscalculated and missed a move at the end. And you can check them on pretty much any major chess site, like chessbase.com, chessbomb.com, chess24. All those sites carry the games. YouTube, there's probably 3 or 4 analyses that have been posted already by high-profile YouTubers. Do you still like Confederacy of Dunces? I read in your interview that Confederacy of Dunces was your favorite book. It is mine also. Yeah, I love that book. That in 1984. They're pretty close for me. Oh, thank you, Patrick. Thank you for your support of my channel. Confederacy of Dunces is hilarious. It's a really funny book. But then it's a polarizing book too, because I've met people who have read that book and they think it's atrocious. They're like, I didn't get the humor and I hated the main character and I just wanted to put the book down immediately. So if you read it, you'll probably have a strong opinion one way or the other. I think it's brilliant. John, do you still like Naka's chances? Yeah, that's tough to say after that loss. I don't know. Do you use Tinder? Yeah, I have a Tinder account. I do have a Tinder account. Yeah, Aegon is threatening to sue people who relay the games real time. Aegon is that corporation that is organizing the candidates tournament, which you hate to see. I mean, you don't want chess sites getting sued just for spreading chess knowledge and relaying top-level games, highly anticipated top-level games as they happen. Yeah, I love Carl Sagan. I really like his book Contact. Also, Cosmos is a great book too. And the Cosmos series. Sagan is great. Awesome writer, super smart guy. Brave New World, yeah. A lot of people say Brave New World is a kind of beefed up version of 1984 or a better version of it. I think it's subjective. They're both great books. Aldous Huxley. I don't know who's going to win the candidates now. Yeah, it's an open question. Maybe Caruana. If not Naka, I'm going to go with Caruana. I hope he can get some wins. Because I got to root for an American. I'm selfish, but I want an American in the finals. It's going to be played in New York. We can bring the media blitz if it happens. We need another Fischer boom, both in the US and worldwide. It would be good to have Caruana or Nakamura in the candidates. No offense to the other highly qualified potential candidates. Are you a part of Team Svidler? I like Svidler. I wouldn't say I'm on Team Svidler. It's cool that Svidler is playing this tournament, though. I think he got in by virtue of the World Cup, finishing runner-up there. Yeah, Svidler's like an OG in the chess game. He's a lot of fun to. Of all the guys in the tournament, he's the most one. He's the one I'd most like to like sit down for dinner or grab a beer with. Oh, hello, Trevor, aka E Player. Glad you could join the stream. Yeah, I very well might be at the candidates tournament just to watch it. Or sorry, the World Championship. I mean, I'm not flying to Moscow for the candidates, but it's in New York City next November. I think November 11th through 30th. And I used to live in New York City, and it's just a fun city to visit in general. And if they're having the World Championship there, I feel like I have to go. This could be a once in a lifetime opportunity. It would be a blast. I know a lot of people in the chess community are going to be there. What other chess streamers do you follow? For example, Greg Shahadi, Chess Bras, Chess Explained, Chess Network. I subscribe to all those guys. I watch Christoph's videos most often. He's the one I follow most frequently. Devin is tired of Anand and sick of his attitude. Anand has an attitude? He doesn't seem like that temperamental of a guy to me. Explain yourself, Devin. You got to admire Anand's persistence. Like, you know, a month or two ago, he was getting hammered by lower rated players in Gibraltar. And now he's, you know, in a good position to compete again for the World Championship if he keeps this going. It's incredible. The guy's tenacious. That shows real mental resolve and not getting down on yourself. Can you imagine how he felt when he lost to Carlsen first and then lost the rematch? I mean, losing a World Championship match is bad enough, but losing to someone twice as young as you with all that pressure, especially playing in India for the match that was played in India, all credit to Anand for coming back from that. That's true professionalism. Anand kind of won me over with how he's handled himself through all of that. He's not my favorite player, and I hope he doesn't win the candidates, but that's just because I think we need some new life. Yeah, I am sub to Atrophied. Atrophied is a Crazy House player. He mostly plays Crazy House. He's a good chess player too, but he posts Crazy House videos that are good. He's fun to watch. No upcoming tournaments, Chris. Nothing planned at the moment. I'm on a tournament hiatus as we speak, but I hope to get back in there soon. I'm sure I'll find something. What is your favorite free online chess book, John? Well, I don't condone piracy, so I'm not going to tell you a book that you should go download or something. I wouldn't do that. You can study my repertoires on Chessable for free if you're looking for chess knowledge. And of course, there's tons of free resources in all corners of the internet about chess, some better than others. John, you have played me in a number of times. What do you suggest that I improve on? Trevor, you should stop playing F5 systems. Don't play so many Stonewall systems as black. Get away from that. Also, slow down in the opening, or I'm going to catch you with those pre-moves. Do you think Carlsen or Naka is better at bullet? Naka. Yeah, it'd be hard to believe that Carlsen could take him down in bullet. I know chess.com is organizing that 8-player match coming up, 7 elite players, and then a qualifier. And it'll be intriguing to see how Carlsen fares in the bullet portion, assuming he makes it to the finals and maybe even plays Nakamura, because those guys would have to be pretty heavy favorites, I would imagine. But having seen Nakamura play and just the amount of practice he has, it'd be hard to believe that Carlsen could compete with him in that discipline. Maybe Carlsen is secretly practicing, but I think Nakamura's constant practice in 1-minute chess goes a long way, even though Carlsen is objectively stronger. You can play Blindfold online on several sites. There's just a hide piece feature that you can use. What do you think of Danny Wrench? Danny's awesome. Yeah, buddy of mine. Known him for a long time. He's a jovial guy, kind of a clown with a heart of gold. Have you seen Carlson play Bullet OTB? He's got serious speed. I've seen some videos, yes. Chess.com has posted some, I think, where actually Danny has played him. But online is a different animal. Online Bullet and OTB Bullet are completely different. Shaq Iverson says he's going to be in Moscow. Would you like me to interview someone on your behalf? You should interview whoever you want, Shaq Iverson. Would you agree with this statement? Daniel Wrench is a poor man's Simon Williams. No, I wouldn't insult either of those guys by saying something like that. Didn't Danny beat Simon in one of their chess.com chess rivals recently? I'm pretty sure he beat him. I would love to come to Europe again, Patrick. Okay, I really got to wrap this stream up, guys. I'm sorry. I went far longer. I knew this was going to happen. You guys twisted my arm. It's all your fault for making me play again. No, it's been fun, though. So I'm probably going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching. You might notice that I've been trying to do more of these streams. So expect to see another one of these again sometime soon, probably this coming week. And hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend and a good night. So talk to you guys later. Bye.